Hello, gentle folk.
Hello. We just finished recording the Black Dahlia, and that was aired in March, and this is airing in late April. So,
Yes.
exhausted and tired, exhausted and
And
tired.
I'm in the middle of making dinner while we're doing it.
But this is the beginning of
'Cause
our
we're-
Tucson cases. We got 3 Tucson murders. 2 of them, all 3 of them are solved. No, 2 of them are solved. One of them is unsolved.
Because we also have what? Wait, when do we do? Oh, never mind. Just okay. We'll go. Oh wait, you're crooked. Yeah, that's crooked.
And then we got the Jack the Ripper after this.
Can't wait.
Okay, so this begins our Tucson cases, and we have 3. Because reason we're pre-recording, we're packing and moving. So we're gonna be doing some Tucson cases as an homage to Tucson, this wonderful city we're leaving
Yes,
and moving to a nicer city.
one that has all the seasons. It's snow.
And it snows and
spring and summer. And
it's beautiful.
It's amazing. And first and foremost, family. To be closer to, it's more or less mine and Justin's side of the family, but we'll be closer
No,
to our
also
family.
my family.
And also her family. But yep, family is the biggest thing, and it's time for the move. It's time to do that. And in one of these videos, we'll definitely talk about our process and what's going
Well,
on.
when we come back from our
Yes.
So, Gary Triano was born in Sacramento, California. And so let me know in the comments if you remember this case, because this is actually a rather new case too. So he was born in Sacramento, California on November 6, 1961, and he enrolled at the U of A, and he graduated with his degree in accounting in 1965.
Okay.
He was not born in 1961. He was born in like 1951. I don't know why I put a 6.
I was about to say, because you said he graduated in 1965.
Yeah, he couldn't graduate when he's 4.
He's 4.
Yeah, he's 4.
He
No,
knew his
I
numbers.
mistyped. And once he was done with school, he ended up marrying a woman named Mary Cram in the late 60s, and they welcomed their first baby in 1970, a daughter, and they named her Heather. And after Heather was born, Gary found work as a car salesman in Tucson, and with the arrival of their second kid, he wanted to take his professional life more seriously. So in 1971, he got a real estate license and embarked on his first development project. And this was going to be a 97 home development in the northeast part of Tucson. And it went through after protests from the public and significant amount of zoning red tape. And it was not an easy project for him to begin with. And it was because of this he actually ran for city council in 1973. And he told reporters zoning must best utilize the land for the benefit of the total community, just not just the next door neighbor or the real estate
But
developer.
for everybody.
Yeah. He wanted to make it a better experience for the whole community. He was deemed ineligible to run for the seat because he failed to meet the residency requirements.
Oh, you had to be a resident for a while.
Yeah, and also I think it was he had to live in a certain district.
Oh.
And he did not live in that district.
Oh, darn.
But that didn't matter to him. He still wanted to overhaul the city's zoning laws and make them friendlier to developers. And in the following years, he worked hard and made a name for himself in real estate and the finance industry. He invested in properties and developments around Tucson, and he even branched into film too. In 1978, he and Mary went to the Cannes Film Festival, where a film he had actually executively produced called Magu Cage debuted, and it was followed by a big industry party.
Okay.
And while his business prospered in the late 70s, early 80s, his relationship with Mary was crumbling, and sadly, it wasn't working out. He actually, in 1985, began seeing another woman when he was still married.
Dang, I was 5 years old. Can this all stop happening when I'm like hitting a certain age?
Was seeing another woman named Pamela Phillips. Again, he's married. By the next year, he and Mary decided to divorce in 1986.
What is going on?
In October 1986.
It's like two relationships in a short span.
Yeah. Decided to divorce in October 1986. And Jerry and Pam got married in San Diego, California. Now, Pamela was drastically different from his first wife, Mary. Mary was active in the community and charitable organizations, and she was just entrenched in the community. Pamela was the picture. It was a picture in the dictionary of self-centered and excessive. Uh, she was in the finance industry in the late 1980s, and it was very much Wolf of Wall Street with her. Do you remember the Wolf of Wall Street? Leonardo DiCaprio.
I mean, I know the actor, but I don't think I've seen the movie.
Hey, you two!
Stop. Knock it off.
So,
Sorry, we've got two cats that are playing the I'm the queen of the castle, and they're not.
yeah. According to Tucson Weekly, Pam grew up in the Tucson Country Club privilege.
Okay.
And had always enjoyed a high visibility life of luxury. She was also active in the Tucson real estate world and Republican politics, which was rare for women at the time. She worked a lot as well, and a reporter from the Tucson Weekly said she used her beauty to pursue listing deals and commissions, and she was not above using cutthroat tactics to get what she wanted.
Oh, dang. She's a shark.
Another friend and political insider said Pam will rip your heart out for a commission.
Oh, jeez.
Gary's life with Mary was calm and peaceful, which was the opposite with Pam, who lived a very social life. Mary very much in the public eye, and that included entertaining wealthy guests from real estate, including Donald Trump.
Here comes that name.
Gary and Pam became constants at society events and fundraisers, and University of Arizona basketball games, and the Tucson country clubs. They were always there, always visible there. And you will never believe how Gary traveled around Tucson.
On a bike.
He preferred his method of transportation was renting a stretch limo.
Okay, well, I thought I would try, and I thought maybe he might be one of those people that
Like we're humble. No, he
that
was
humble.
not.
Okay.
People did say that Pam and Gary loved each other, but Pam also loved the money a lot.
I just started the hamburger meat, so
In the
shouldn't be
mid
too long.
80s, he had a lot of money. He was at the peak of his career, and he was living a life. The press would describe as extravagant, confident, and flamboyant. They owned a home on the grounds of the Skyline Country Club, and they had a private chauffeur.
Okay, I know where Skyline is.
Yeah. They owned a private jet that they used for trips between Arizona, California, Nevada, and New York. And Pam had made a great career for herself too. She had assets in the total of $2 million by her own account. But Pam was happy to quit working after she married Gary, and she embraced a life where he provided everything for her. Now, within a year of the wedding, Pam gave birth to their first child, followed by another 3 years later, and that was the best years of their marriage. Gary and Pam were generous with their money, and they would bring friends along on their lavish vacations and flashy destinations, and they took care of those that they loved. But Gary had a little bit of a problem. Gary liked to gamble.
I was about to ask that. Does Gary like to roll the dice?
Not just in his personal life, like with his constant visits to Atlantic City and Vegas, he also gambled in his professional life.
Oh.
Throughout the 80s, a big part of his business and reputation was developing the Arizona indigenous gambling industry and gaming industry.
Okay.
Working with tribal commissions for multiple Native American tribes and developing large casinos in resorts. In the late 80s, interest had expanded past Arizona borders, and he began developing projects in the Caribbean, China, and the Middle East.
Jeez.
Yeah. This put him in similar circles as Joseph Bonanno from the Bonanno's family.
Sorry. The last names.
If you don't know, that is a mob family.
Okay, I'm not laughing. Don't come after me.
Joseph was once the head of the New York Bonanno crime family, and he retired in 1970 to Arizona. He actually became active in Arizona real estate after he left his life of crime. It was said Gary Triano was originally financed by Bonanno in the late 70s. leading some friends and associates to think he was linked to the mafia until and after his death. This has highly been refuted. Dr. Lawrence D'Antonio told CBS in 2017 he was a very flamboyant man, and he was good looking, but he was rotten to the core.
Mm,
D'Antonio claimed to have known Gary since they were kids and insisted he was a con man and a thief, and said he would steal from anyone, including his own family, his own wife.
wow.
This was not said by anyone else who knew him. It was just this one dude saying it, so
Like, did the
lacks the
dude act? I
credibility.
was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did they actually get fed, or is just something
Yeah.
he's trying to make him sound like he was the top dog?
His work in real estate, finance, and development led to personal and professional trouble. By the end of the decade, a real estate bust and a global stock market crash caused tremendous losses for investors and developers around the world. And for the first time in almost 20 years, Gary found himself in very dire financial straits.
Oops.
The financial collapse called the real estate market specifically to stall. So Gary was struggling to sell properties that he'd spent years investing and developing, so he was unable to sell anything.
Hmm.
He quickly found himself with a rather serious cash flow shortage that prevented him from paying his creditors. So lawsuits followed, and he was just in a mess. It was a shitstorm. The crash and subsequent real estate bust caused significant losses for a lot of people around the world. But Gary's business losses were also accompanied by his personal gambling debts, which also had begun to spiral out of control. By 1993, he was being sued by multiple organizations, and the next year he actually sadly had to file for Chapter 11
Oh.
bankruptcy. He cited $40 million in debts.
Oh.
What?
Dude, they let him do that? That's a lot of what? Give me some of that 40 million. Gee, just give me 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
The financial problems led to problems in Gary and Pam's relationship, and in the summer of 1993, they ended up separating, with Pam kicking Gary out of their country club home. A messy divorce and a custody battle quickly followed, with Pam taking 3 restraining orders against her soon to be ex husband. He claimed Gary carried a loaded gun around on the front seat of his car, mixed booze and antidepressants, threw things, tore her clothes, and was harassing her at all hours of the day. And documents filed with the court during the divorce proceedings, she claimed, "My household help has even been scared away."
Okay. Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, he's
Why
a
are we in 1993 calling the calling maids and all that other stuff the
the help.
household help?
You sit there and say, my maids.
My chauffeur, my butler. Don't say the help.
I
Damn.
mean, that was a movie. Never seen it. Check it out.
Now, it's unclear if this was real or if Pam was trying to bolster her claim for full custody so she could get child support.
Well, I mean, she really didn't have to do much, to be honest. If the man was a, I'm just basking over the 40 million he filed a Chapter 11 on. The fact that the man was irresponsible with money,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that he was gambling, I mean, not just gambling, like you said, in personal life, but with his own business,
Mm-hmm.
that's irresponsibility. And she really didn't have to fight hard, eh,
Yeah.
to get custody of that kid.
Yeah. Her behavior during the divorce didn't help how she was viewed by the judge or the court system. One time during a custody hearing in March of 1994, Pam got so mad because she thought Gary was mocking her with laughter. She retaliated by throwing a cup of water at him in the hallway outside of court.
That's just assault, ma'am.
The judge did cite this in the case, and the case settled a few months later, and Pam was given full custody of kids. She then left Arizona and relocated to Aspen, Colorado. Now, despite being thousands of miles away, the distance did not calm the anger between the two. Shortly after Pam moved, Pam tried to get another order on Gary, claiming a friend told her that Triano announced if it wasn't for the kids, she'd be dead.
Really, though?
Yeah.
I mean,
And mind you, this never happened with his first wife, Mary.
and you should have stuck with her.
Um, da, 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 da. That restraining order, I don't believe was granted. I don't, if I
Well, she
recall
had
correctly.
3.
She had
correct?
3 in
She
Arizona,
did
and she
3.
tried to get one in Colorado.
You're out of the state, so I don't see that. I agree. I don't see that being granted
Yeah.
because he's not. You're not in the same state as he is, where
And the
harm can
restraining
happen.
orders did work across state lines. So,
So she didn't need a 4th.
the restraining orders that he did have affected the little access he did have to the kids, which caused a lot of which caused Gary distress. He was a family man. He
He
loved
loved
his
his
kids.
kids. Yeah.
His life was falling apart and his kids had been taken. And his friend John Condis told a reporter in 2001 he loved and missed his kids.
And not only that, it depends on what she's saying.
And yeah,
Because anytime in a divorce, no matter what the divorce is, no matter how much you either hate the person, love the person, what is being said? Because there's a lot of parents that have had a rocky divorce.
hmm
I would never bash whenever Justin's dad and I got divorced. I never bashed him.
hmm
I let the kids think what they wanted to think because it's not my place to sit here and go up to Justin and say your dad was, and then just say something negative. I couldn't do that.
yeah,
I let them find that out on their own, which in all aspects as a parent, I think that should be up to the kids to
yeah,
decide when they get older how they view that person. So what was being said on her end, and that poor guy probably sitting there thinking, oh, what is she saying?
hmm
She's got to be saying something bad.
Well, one of his friends said Gary was never without his cell phone to ensure he never missed a call from the kids.
Oh,
After the divorce, Gary moved into a home in Sable Canyon with his business partner, Richard Hickey, and they started trying to rebuild his business. In the 2 months he filed for bankruptcy, he had lost nearly $26 million, and per his creditor repayment schedule, was projected to only pay $230,000 annually.
so not only 40, we're adding a 26.
The loss
66. What is wrong with you?
the
Jeez.
the loss in money meant there was less child support, and he actually ended up turning to his ex-wife Mary to help him pay his debts.
Okay, is he still alive?
I'm not going to get into that.
Okay, so my guy, if your first marriage was easy peasy, calm, cool, collected, she was.
You're still asking her for help with child support and other debts.
My guy, you should have stayed with even if you didn't stay with her, like as in marriage.
Well, we're gonna get to his love life.
You should have stuck with that one.
And now, despite his financial problems, he struggled to rein in his spending. He continued traveling first class, and he continued gambling and spending thousands on business entertaining. Now, in 1994, his company New Frontier Investments started an association with Platinum Mortgage and Financial Services, a Tucson finance company. And it was then that Gary met 31-year-old Robin Gardner. There's a 20-year age difference, and the two began a very passionate relationship. Now, I don't mind that age gap because she's 31.
Okay, that makes sense.
She's 31.
I'm not looking at this like
he's 50, right?
Are you feeling okay?
She's 31. She is. If she was 18 and he was like 51, I would have a problem with that. But she's 30. Her brain is fully developed. She's an adult.
As long as she hits past that 25 age.
Yeah, she's an adult. She knows what she's getting into.
Mm-hmm.
If she was like a child, an 18-year-old, a teenager still, I'd be like, my guy. She a minor.
We won't get into my family history. Y'all didn't have nothing else better to do. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm telling you.
So they began and the two began a very passionate relationship. A few months later, Robin gave birth to their child in 1995. And she hoped the baby would be enough to get Gary to marry her. But after 2 failed marriages, he was not going to try his luck a third time. He also won
What is
the battery is low.
What?
The battery is low.
It shouldn't be low because I have it plugged in to charge. It should be charging. You fart. Why is this not? Well, yeah, we help if I push you on your way in. God.
So, he didn't want to try his luck a third time, and he also wanted to, if he was going to get married, have a big wedding, but he didn't have the finances for a big wedding. So he didn't want to get married unless he had the financial backing to.
You had the finances for half of the crap that you did. And you're now realizing you don't have the finances for a wedding?
So, according to a reporter from the Tucson
Come on.
Weekly, his refusal to marry her set off a series of exchanges of accusations of abuse and violence.
Oh, my Lord.
There were verbal arguments that turned into physical altercations, including an incident where Gary called 911 on Robin after she threw a vase at him in the garage. So his romantic life was failing, and by 1996, his professional life began to pick up steam. And he was still struggling with keeping up with his creditors for the bankruptcy repayment plans. But he had started working on new projects, including a casino in China that would be the first of its kind.
Wow.
So it was going good. And in November of 1996, he had a renewed sense of optimism, and he was looking forward to celebrating his 53rd birthday. On the afternoon of November 1st, he played a round of golf at La Paloma Country Club.
La Paloma.
Yeah,
Very nice and beautiful hotel, by the way.
while friends and family gathered at his house for a surprise party, and the golf game wrapped up around 5:30, and Gary made his way to the parking lot where he parked his borrowed Lincoln Town car he'd been driving. He exchanged some pleasantries with acquaintances in the lot, and he noticed there was a blue canvas bag in the passenger seat of the car, and he looked at it weird because he hadn't put it there,
Don't touch it.
and he had just parked a couple hours prior. He reached over to inspect the bag, and as he touched the bag, it exploded,
No!
engulfing the car in flames and shattering the glass of the nearby cars and the country club windows.
Dang.
It was a huge explosion. The canvas bag contained a pipe bomb. It killed Gary instantly by blowing open his skull by, quote, splitting apart inch by inch in half of the right part of his forehead um, for a length of 4 or more inches, leaving a bridge of bones. So it basically just,
Wow.
yeah.
I said don't touch it.
The autopsy also said that the shrapnel from the bomb pierced his brain.
Wow.
Yeah. The autopsy also said the explosion burned off his hair
Oh,
and
jeez.
ruptured both of his eyeballs.
Do you need to go outside?
During a search of the scene, his left hand was discovered in the debris from the blast 200 yards away from the car.
Wow.
Yeah, it
Sorry,
was
letting the dog
a
out.
big ass explosion
Apparently.
in front of Weston La Paloma.
That's why it looks so pretty now, because they had to do a facelift. Dude,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah,
Man's 53rd freaking birthday, and he gets blown to smithereens.
we're gonna actually talk about that bomb. According to the watch that had stopped at the time of the explosion, he died at 5:38.
Wow.
The news of his death reached the friends and family waiting at his house a few hours later.
Oh.
And when Pam got the news, she told CBS she was hysterical and thinking, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?"
Look here, bitch. You didn't. You no. You can understand if you're devastated for the kid's sake, right? They had a child.
Oh,
For the
I'm
kid's
not.
sake, come on.
Oh,
You hated each other.
I'm not gonna. You haven't even heard.
I'm not saying that you didn't love him, like for the aspect probably on behalf of the kid, but you both hated each other.
I'm not. She immediately. So after saying, "Oh my God, what am I going to do?" I immediately thought, who hadn't he paid before the bombing? He was in total fear, going around with a gun, and he had death threats. He had life threats. I had life threats. The children had life threats. We're talking about the Mexican mafia, people you don't cross. A few of Pam's friends believed her story about the involvement with organized crime. Most thought her comments were strange and unbelievable.
That's what I'm thinking right about now.
A family friend, Laura Chapman, told CBS she was asked about Pam's claims that the family had been threatened and felt unsafe. She said, "That's absurd. I don't believe that happened." Despite what everyone was saying, Tucson PD was no better than every police department we have sadly talked about. They ignored what everyone was saying and immediately looked into the gambling and organized crime link. Pima County Sheriff Clarence Dubnick told reporters he had huge gambling debts. He made deals between people who financed and built casinos. and some of those projects were unsuccessful. He basically said it could have been a mob hit because of unpaid debts. Gary's friend and business partner, Frank Frank, told me the suggestion of mafia involvement seemed politically motivated. He told reporters there was no organized crime aspect in any Arizona casino or any casino we've been involved in. So his partner's like, the
That
mob's never
you
been
know of.
involved.
That you know of.
Yeah, but his partner was like, there's never been any mob involvement in any of the dealings we've made. They could have made it outside. Two people besides me and him could have had it, but we did not have any dealings with organized crime.
Never believe a mobster.
So,
Yeah, actually, never believe anybody.
yeah. So, according to him, opponents of expanded gaming use
Come on.
used his death as evidence to support claims that gaming results rose crime and other unsavory acts.
Wow.
The Pima County Sheriff continued to pursue Gary finances as their primary theory for the murder of the sheriff, and there were a number of people who would have reason to be angry with him. Some his personal relationships, others from his financial background. Throughout the early weeks, the sheriff promoted the suspected connection to organized crime and even said the mob used this as a message. Not only is a powerful, violent way to kill, but it sends a message perhaps to others. While police dug through his personal life, the technicians of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, the ATF, began analyzing the wreckage for clues that could point in the direction of the motive or the killer. And in a rush to provide some info to the press, a spokesman told them it was a pipe bomb filled with black gunpowder that killed Gary Triano. ATF agent Sig Cilia said, "We know exactly what most of the pipe bomb pieces are and what portions of the device they belong to at this point. It's just a matter of putting it together." It appeared to these agents that these agents were confident when it came to the information, and it would be proved to be one of the few inaccuracies they conveyed to the press. In fact, when technicians finished processing the vehicle a few weeks later, there were several pieces of electronic scrap that would confirm that the bomb was not just a pipe bomb.
Huh.
It was a remotely detonated bomb.
So that means somebody was sitting in the distance waiting for him to go to the car.
So a few weeks after the investigation
Ding, ding, ding.
began, the police were nowhere closer to solving the case. Sergeant Michael O'Connor said, "It's like a game of clues. This is classic. We don't have a shortage of potential suspects. The problem was as more time passed, the suspect list got shorter and shorter with fewer and fewer leads. And after a few months of digging, police realized that what Gary's friends and families were saying was true. There was no connection to the mob, and while he owned a lot of money, it was bad for them that he died. It made their lives worse. So they were taken off the suspect list. Because I mean, think about it. If you owe somebody 26 million, someone owes you $26 million, are you gonna want to kill them so you don't get your $26 million back?
Yeah, because you want that. You want that money.
Exactly.
You don't want to sit there and kill
Friends
somebody.
and family are telling you he's not a part of the mob.
Well,
there's no reason there's no.
they would torture him if he didn't pay it, but I don't think they would really write. I mean, well, okay, depending on your mob type, if that makes sense. Depending on the type of the mob, we'll say that.
Even then,
But again, why would you kill somebody? I agree with you that why would you kill somebody over 20?
You got
66 million. We're just gonna.
Yeah.
The 40 still baffles me.
Why?
But why?
So the family's telling you this, and the police department didn't listen to him. And after a couple of months, they're like, "Well, the family was right the whole entire time.
What? Put your donut down.
We were going down this way, but we should have been going this way."
Yeah, you go
Now,
towards the family.
if you were a police officer, Ray,
oh, don't ask.
And there's a car bombing, who else would you look at other than organized crime and finances?
Well, let's see. He has outside businesses in other countries. He's doing business with, would you say China? Okay, so you have to do all aspects of who he was dealing with as far as business.
But wouldn't you also look,
regardless if they're from another country?
But wouldn't you also look at his personal life?
Look at the wife. Pam. She just said they hated each other. I'm sorry.
I would also look at Pam. I don't understand why the police didn't split their investigation.
Yeah,
you can have one side looking at the financial aspects. I understand that makes sense to look at the financial aspects.
You want to see
But also, you need to look at his personal life.
Yeah, because you want to see what he was doing in China and the other places. I'm just watching. Um, what he was doing in China and the other places he was doing the
Hmm.
casinos with indigenous people.
Hmm.
Look at them, because if you can't dwindle down your suspect list
Hmm.
on your own without it falling apart on it, without it falling apart unless you're the one doing it, you need to be able to see everybody. Everybody needs to be investigated.
Yeah. So while his creditors gained nothing, um, a certain Pam Phillips filed a $2 million life insurance claim on a policy she had on him during their marriage, the beneficiaries being their two minor children. Police finally turned their attention to her,
Investigation,
and she turned out to be less than cooperative.
of
Pam
course.
refused to submit a polygraph test, claiming her lawyer advised against it. And by the spring, there was no new leads, and the investigation turned cold. And the team that was solving the case was disbanded in August, and it was declared a cold case.
So you let somebody possibly get away with murder.
Pam told reporters, "I'm sad. They were unable to find whoever did this. It just doesn't feel like it's over for me and my children and the whole family."
But you got $2 million.
Officially,
Come on.
the case remained open, and investigators from multiple agencies would continue working together to find Gary's killers, but even the sheriff department didn't hold on to hope. Many officers were looking at Pam as the possible killer, but there was no evidence to tie her to the case. Now, here's the thing. Not long after moving to Aspen, Pam Phillips befriended a man named Ronald Young, and she hired him as a consultant to build a website for a company she was intending to start. Their relationship turned romantic in 1996 when Young abruptly left the state.
Hmm.
His sudden departure without delivering on the services that he had been paid by Pam um, prompted her attorney to file a police report saying he had defrauded Pam Phillips. And Pam seemed interested in cooperating with the police, and then a few weeks later, she refused to help in their investigation at all. Now, she was not the only one who filed a claim of fraud on Mr. Young. In April, a few weeks earlier, Pam had filed her report, and it was actually two Aspen businessmen who made a similar claim before her.
Oh wow.
So a search warrant was issued for his home, and they found evidence of fraud, and an arrest warrant was issued in August. Weeks passed with no sign of Ronald Young until Aspen detective James Crowley got a police
Crowley.
call. Got a call from police in Yoruba, Linda, California, regarding the discovery of an abandoned rental car that had been taken out in Young's name, and it had been found at the airport near his parents' house. Because the car had been reported stolen by the rental car company, the police were able to impound it, where it had been sitting since its discovery.
Hmm.
So Detective Crowley went to California in October to search the contents of the car, which included a sawed off shotgun, a laptop computer belonging to Ronald Young, a credit report in Pam Phillips' name, a map of Tucson, and a large number of documents from Gary and Pam's divorce. The evidence collected from the rental car was unusual, but he was still unable to find Young, and so he returned to Aspen and began working on more pressing cases. It was a few months later, when he heard about the bombing, that he thought of Ronald Young. He remembered Gary's name, and he reported the info to the Pima County Sheriff's Office, but they were unable to locate him, so they pursued other suspects. A decade passed, and in 2005, Ronald Young appeared on America's Most Wanted for
No.
fraud charges, and it was also noted he was suspected in the Triano case.
Used to watch on what is it?
America's
America's
Most
Most Wanted. I
Wanted,
used to watch that.
and it aired in November of 2005.
Oh dang.
And in a day, producers received several calls from residents in Pompano Beach, Florida, saying a man matching Young's description was living in the area going by the name of Kelly Young. On November 21st, Broward County Sheriff's officers trailed him to a chiropractic appointment where he was arrested for fraud charges. Now, when they searched his car, they found a loaded gun,
Hmm.
credit card in the name of Kelly Young, and they were able to search his home and computer and found he had been receiving regular payments from Pamela Phillips since 1997, totaling $400,000.
So that 2 million.
According to forensic accountants who examined the evidence, the payments were consistent with the scheduled payouts that Pam received from Gary Triano's life insurance, and it appeared to the accountant they had tried to conceal the transactions. Now, on top of the fraud charges against him in Colorado, Young was being charged with being a fugitive in possession of a firearm and served 10 months in a Florida jail, and was extradited back to Colorado on the warrant for the fraud charge.
Oh wow.
So, based on the evidence collected from his home and laptop computer from the abandoned rental car, investigators on the Triano case had a strong reason to believe that Young was paid by Pamela to kill Gary Triano.
Wow.
So, while Young sat in jail, he was expelled, and detectives in Arizona continued combing through the evidence collected from his home, and they discovered he had recorded hours of conversation with Phillips where they discussed the payments. According to court documents, Young and Pam's referred to their financial dealings explicitly and implicitly as an illegal arrangement.
Uh-oh.
And in these recorded conversations, Pam was worried about getting caught.
What?
In one of the most incriminating calls was one where Young reminded Pam he had helped her with something that was beyond what anyone else in the world would probably do, and she was living off the benefits of it.
Wow.
When they started arguing about how much money he believed he was owed, he said if Pam was caught, Pam would be in a women's prison for murder. The recorded calls were enough to get a warrant, and in September 2006, Tucson cold case detectives searched Pam's Aspen home and seized a lot of evidence they believed proved she had conspired with Ronald to kill Gary in 1996.
Oh wow.
The ATF, during a press conference, said it's fair to say that both individuals are suspects. The allegations were refuted by Pam's lawyer, Doug Clark, who said she had nothing to do with his death. He explained there are at least 5 different, very dangerous people, any of whom could have done it. They all had the means and opportunity to do it. It took a while, but on October 2008, warrants were issued for the arrest of Pam Phillips and Ronald Young, charging both of them with first degree murder and the conspiracy to commit first degree murder.
Wow.
Young was arrested in California and extradited back to Arizona, and Pam Phillips was nowhere to be found. Despite the fact she was being monitored by Colorado police, she was able to flee the United States and get on a flight to London in September of 2008.
Wow.
That's right, somehow she left the country, and her lawyer claimed she went to live with her daughter in Switzerland.
Gets mighty cold during the winter, ma'am.
A little more than a year would pass, and she was arrested in Vienna and extradited back to the U.S.
Wow.
In 2009, Ronald Young went on trial. In February 2010, when DA William McCollum argued that he engaged in a romantic relationship with Pam Phillips in 1996 and he was convinced to kill Gary Triano
Yeah.
in exchange for $400,000, which was paid out from Gary's life insurance policy. As evidence, he provided the receipts showing the payments began several months before the murder even occurred, which laid the grounds for conspiracy charge on the ongoing payments and hours.
Premeditated.
Yeah, and the hours of recorded calls they argued were also evidence of his guilt. Now arguing on Young's behalf, defense attorney Walter Pauser claimed the DA was guessing about what happened, that the phone calls were too vague to prove anything. He said Gary learned the truth from Pam about. He said that uh, Ronald had learned the truth about Pam, about Gary's death, and desperate for money, used that to extort her for years. He said if the jury wants a hypothesis about what happened, that sometime around November 1st, 1996, Phillips told her former lover she had arranged for Gary's death and he decided to blackmail her as evidence. He used the phone calls in which he implicates Pam, saying that she will go to jail for what she did, but never implicates himself. The lawyer said if blackmailing scheme and murder schemes are equally plausible, they have to acquit. In closing arguments, the DA, William
Will
McCollum,
you smash up the hamburger meat for me? It's on the stove. I
refuted
started it.
the defense attorney, reminding the jury the blackmail scenario doesn't make sense since Phillips was paying Young 5 months before the killing.
Wow.
He also pointed out that the amount of evidence found in Young's home that tied him to the murder. He said, "This case reeks of two people who are so greedy, so cold, nothing else matters." The jury deliberated for 12 hours across 2 days. And on April 1st, they returned the verdict final to Ronald Young, not guilty of first degree murder. Oh, no, guilty of first degree murder and conspiracy to commit first degree murder.
Did they say April Fools on top of it?
Yeah, they April Fools. On May 3rd, 2010, Pima
The
County
date.
Judge Christopher Browning sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole,
Oof.
saying he couldn't comprehend how somebody could plot and carry out the murder of a virtual stranger for money, and in such a horrid way. And he had to be, because he had to be nearby, and he had to press a button. So he had to stalk Triano to find the right moment.
Wow.
Pamela Phillips' trial was the opposite of Young's. After being arrested in Vienna in 2009, it took 8 months before Pam was back in the U.S., and in July 2010, she was arraigned on charges of first degree murder and conspiracy to commit first degree murder. And while she's waiting for her trial, her lawyers asked if she could be seen for a mental health examination, claiming she was incompetent to stand trial.
Well, here goes the insanity thing.
According to the attorney, Pam had been experiencing extreme paranoia since 2003. She claimed she felt as though she was being watched and listened to and believed she had tracking devices placed in her neck. In March 2011, Dr. Brad
Wow.
Johnson said Pam, in his opinion, was malingering symptoms of mental illness. According to him, she was very dramatically inconsistent, vague, and focused on describing her symptoms, and people with actual mental illnesses are not. She was
Yeah.
basically like, she's faking.
She's competent to stand trial.
The judge refused to.
Yeah, that was the only one there.
The judge refused to follow additional mental health examinations, and in September of 2011, Pima County Judge Richard Fields reversed his early ruling prohibiting additional mental health exams. In December of that year, Pam was examined another time by a new mental health practitioner who determined she was incompetent to stand trial, but could be restored to competency. In October 2012,
Exactly what the shit ass she was doing.
in October 2012,
Where they try to get away with. I'm insane, but that's why I murdered 15 people and planned it out and had everything. Don't give us the bullshit. Oh, I'm insane. I didn't do it. I love clowns. I love eating cherries.
Ed Gein is the only insanity plea that I can
Yeah.
arguably say I fully
I don't
agree.
think he was insane. I think he was so badly brought up in such an environment.
Oh, here we go. Here
Where
go. She's turning, folks. She's
Well-
turning.
Well, what the thing with Ed Gein is, a doctor determined, right? So his mom had died, like been dead for 10 years, but the doctor determined he had had schizophrenia for 12 years. So he started having schizophrenia when he lived with his mom.
Yeah.
And his mom never sought him treatment.
And please don't take this wrong, because Ed Gein's
He's
Piece
a
of work.
wild, and when they
He's a piece of work.
I feel bad
Yeah.
for people like that.
yes,
Because
exactly.
it's like
With
such a horrible way.
we were saying we feel bad
Bad for the
how
child.
yeah, and how he
not
was
the
brought
adult.
up. But the moment he started doing the things he did, it's one of those things. With her, she had her boyfriend murder her ex-husband for $2 million.
At least she
You
thought
gonna
she
go
was
outside?
going to get that.
You good? I know
You
she was-
okay?
she was burping or what? You okay? Are you good, Hermione? Okay, we're just making sure.
Okay, just want to make sure.
If you all
Okay.
get sick, I need to know. We can rush you outside.
So, in October 2012, she was determined competent to stand trial, but it would be another 16 months before she would actually go to trial. Pamela finally
Wow.
went to trial in February of 2014, and Pima County prosecutors told the jury she had conspired with Ronald Young to kill her husband, and the reason was simple. It was greed. Prosecutor Nicole Green said prior to the bombing, the only person who stood to benefit from Gary Trianos' death was Pamela Phillips. The prosecution argued that Pam had grown accustomed to her lavish lifestyle when
Yep.
she was married to Triano. And since she was no longer married to him, she wasn't ready to give up that lifestyle. And they offered the same evidence that prosecuted Ronald Young. The recordings and the documents proved she was an active participant in the murder. And in the defense of his clients, Paul Eccleston flatly rejected the prosecution's arguments and instead suggested she had no love for her ex-husband and that Pam was the victim. According to Pam's defense, who was clearly taking a page from Ronald Young's defense, he claimed that Ronald learned the details of Gary's death for years and used that to extort Pam. He claimed what he had done, what he had on her was that she had a reputation to protect. It was a small town. She was a real estate agent, and she needed her reputation. They argued Pam's lawyer. They argued that if word got out that her being a suspect in Gary's death, it would ruin her career and do irreparable damage to her reputation. He also tried to say Gary was killed by Neil McNeese, an Arizona millionaire to whom Gary owed money. Again, if someone owes you money, why would you kill them?
Yeah.
You want your money back.
And her not getting much in child support, to me,
Mm-hmm.
would be a motive.
The fact that he was going to his ex-wife Mary and being like, "Hey, can you help me with child support payments?" And she was like, "Okay." She helped him.
I mean, that's very sweet of her because obviously their relationship wasn't too bad, but at the same time, I feel that her motive, Pam's motive, is, like I said, it's greed. It's money that she was not getting the amount she's supposed to be getting for the child support.
On April 3rd, 2014, the jury retired for deliberation, and nearly a week later, they returned, finding Pam guilty. And on May 22nd, nearly 4 years after her arrest, and 18 years since Gary's murder, the judge, Richard Field, sentenced Pamela Phillips to life in prison without the possibility of parole. When the verdict was read, she turned to the gallery and shouted, "I'm innocent! I'm innocent! This is a nightmare!"
What about my children? Not that coming out of her mouth.
Pam Phillips appealed the verdict to the Arizona Court of Appeals in 2018, claiming, among other things, she had been denied her right to a properly presented defense and had been denied her right to due process. The Arizona Court of Appeals disagreed with all of this and upheld the verdict.
Is that no?
She is
what?
It's for you.
That one's for you, one's for Justin.
She is currently serving her sentence at the Arizona Department of Corrections in Perryville, Arizona.
Go visit her. See how she's doing. Not. Did they not just say that?
Yeah,
I did say that. We're not going to come visit you.
So
you don't deserve visitors.
So how was this first Tucson murder?
You don't deserve visitors. You don't deserve anything. You killed out of spite for money.
Mm-hmm.
What do I always say? Money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
And that's a valid point right there. Money is the root of all evil. You know, yes. In the pantry. Bottom shelf. There you go. So, yeah. You're a despicable woman for killing somebody
who also loved your kids. Like, he was straight up one of the fact he never made sure he was always with his phone in case his kids called so he could answer him.
Exactly.
The fact that he went to his ex-wife probably
to help with child support, so you still got money. But because you wanted to live that lavish life.
You wanted that $2 million life insurance policy.
That's, come on, lady. I mean, if you guys watch YouTube in prison, I hope you see this. We don't like you.
You're an asshole.
We don't like people like you. The simple fact of...
I do not feel bad for the child. The child was also spoiled. I mean, what? She was like, even the help won't come back to the house. Again, why are you calling people help?
Yeah. You should be called help for yourself.
That was in 1990 something, my guy.
Remember?
No.
Were raised differently.
In 1994?
You don't call the help. You don't call the people help.
Honey, there are very rich people that call people still help.
You don't call them help.
If there are rich people watching this who call your like maids,
staff.
Butlers, and all that, your staff, the help, please get help yourself.
They are your staff.
Yeah.
They are your people.
See them as human beings
Instead of The help.
Help! I need somebody.
He's
help.
gonna need somebody.
I can't have anybody.
The Beatles would be very disappointed in you.
Who?
The Beatles.
Okay. So,
The Beatles.
Hey, the Beatles right now would be like, going, damn, we need a new singer. We're gonna get John.
There's only one left, so good luck with that.
Know that.
so that is the murder of Gary Triano. I know it's a little bit of a short one.
That's what she said. Oh.
It is a little bit of a shorter case, but you know what? It's
horrible.
It's a bad case. I mean, the
case.
fact he died in a remote detonated bomb
On his 53rd birthday.
and his friends and families were sitting at his house waiting for him to come home, and they sat there for a couple of hours until someone finally called his house
And told them.
So
way to go, Pam. You're a
the
winner.
fact it literally just literally busted his eyeballs open and like his skin just what the fuck?
It reminds me of the what is the first
At least it was an instantaneous death.
What is the first Indiana Jones? Where the dude's skin just literally melts off.
The Raiders of the Tomb.
Yeah, that one. That's what it reminds me of.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, I was about to say tomb, right? No,
Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Don't look, Marion.
Yeah, no.
See, and that part right there where you
best series Disney ever made.
Where you sit there and you say that again, these are ideas that I have when we have a proper setup. Is I can add things like that in there. Where he said his eyes blew up and popped out.
The fact
and then put that up there.
he was parked a little bit away from La Paloma, the fact that it blew out all of the car windows and it blew out West and La
Were you
Paloma's
here at that
windows.
time? John's looking at us like he doesn't know what we're talking about.
What?
I modeled when La Paloma was opening.
But
There
year
was
that this happened.
In 1996 or 1997, Gary Triano was a real estate person. He got in his car and there was a car bomb that exploded, and the explosion was so big it blew out the windows of the cars next to him and Westin La Paloma's windows because the explosion was so big.
What was the date that this happened? November what?
November?
It was his 53rd birthday. Wow. That's why I'm asking. Did you hear anything about it?
I don't remember it.
Huh.
It was.
Is
I'm sorry, I'm
hamburger
on
done?
the other.
What?
Is a hamburger done or no? Okay, I gotta do the taco show. So you can.
It was
have
on
with taco
the
shells or
afternoon of November 1st in 1996.
Huh.
Yeah, there was a car bomb in Tucson,
That's
and
weird.
the police for a long time didn't listen
Okay,
to the
we're almost done.
didn't listen to his family, who was like, he was like $66 million in debt, right?
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, he was a millionaire, and then when the real estate crash happened in the 90s, it like crushed him, right?
Yeah.
So he's struggling. He's just starting to get back up there, and then this car explosion happens, and it was his ex-wife who orchestrated the whole thing.
Wow.
Quick question: have you ever heard of the death of Charles Morgan?
No.
Damn.
No, I just haven't heard of it.
No, I'm talking about yeah, it was in the 70s, so I don't think you know about it.
What seasoning did you put in there?
I was here in the 70s.
Yeah, 1977 was when this case happened. The death of Charles Morgan.
I know I have a little thing of taco seasoning.
So yeah, that is Gary Triano. I know Michelle is not here.
No, that's not taco seasoning. That's fajita.
So yeah, that's Gary Triano. Michelle,
what?
Did you like this case? You didn't know about the Gary Triano case?
No, I didn't. Did you get out of my butt? I did not know anything about the case because I wasn't here.
Mm-hmm.
So I never heard anything about it. I was 16 years old in Oklahoma. So yeah.
Yeah, this case happened, and it made national headlines. And the fact that it did not get resolved completely, she did not go to jail until the 2014 of February.
Yeah, see, I was here. Now, 2014, I was here, but 1996.
The fact that he appeared on Ronald Young appeared on America's Most Wanted in 2005.
Wow. What a great show! I wish that would come back.
It actually helped catch quite a few people.
I think it did still create.
No, I don't.
Didn't he?
I think he does it on like online. He does like live streams, but it doesn't
Mm.
have the same amount of
Same effect.
yeah.
Great thing that he did was he did that because of his son.
Yeah. He did. Hi.
It was brutal.
You guys will get food tomorrow, not today.
So yeah, that's Gary Triano.
Okay. I don't have
Next
food
week
for you.
we're gonna talk about the mysterious death of
What?
Charles Morgan.
Hi. It's not food night. That's not your food. Tomorrow.
She's trying to argue.
Tomorrow. Not tonight. Hermione, did you fart?
Is Thomas on tonight?
No, it's not live. We're recording.
Bye guys. We're gonna
See
see
ya.
ya next week. And it will be keep out for the mysterious death of Charles Morgan. If you guys know who that is,
No.
you're gonna know this is gonna be a good one.
Come learn with me.
Yeah.
Don't make me feel alone.
And then we're gonna have the kidnapping of Isabel Solis.
I think I have to rate this case as a 4.
A 4.
Because yes, his death is very horrible,
Mm-hmm.
but it still does not cap up to a 10 on,
Yeah.
on the Blackout Ripper.
Yeah.
Because
It's not the worst death you've ever heard of.
I have a
but
feeling
it's...
I have a feeling Jack's going to be 11 or higher. Because I know nothing of Jack the Ripper either. So that's
I
we're
got
gonna
50
be-
pages on Jack the Ripper. Well,
Yeah. So there you go, folks. Yeah.
50 pages. All on Jack the Ripper.
Is this Jack the Ripper?
No, this is
Oh.
Charles Morgan.
Well, this is only 10 pages.
10 pages.
Yeah.
Charles Morgan's death is like 10 pages. It's not very long. What kind of makes it is an unsolved case. I will say this one is unsolved.
Mm.
And it is again very mysterious circumstances.
Okay. All right, guys. We're gonna go eat because some of us peoples are hungry, and I think Justin's wanting her attention.
Yes.
We're just waiting for us to finish so he can eat. We're having tacos. But you guys have a good evening.
Yay.
Thank you for watching.
And no, it's
joining.
not Tuesday.
No, it's not Tuesday. Be sure to please like, share, subscribe, and comment for what cases you would like us to possibly do in the future. And as of right now, we are pre-recording all the cases that we're doing right now, all the way up to April.
No,
April, May?
June.
No, okay, all the way up to June. And then once we get moved, we get settled. We probably will not be recording. Well, we will come back live in June. We just haven't set when we're doing it. Okay, so yeah, second week of June. So that way you all won't miss anything. Because we want to make sure that we take the time to also get ourselves settled into a place before we start recording. And then we'll show you what the new space, which I'm excited for.
I am also very excited for the
Because
new space.
we need the new space. We'll probably get a few items before we get settled into our new space. Between her and I both probably have to order it off of Amazon or Walmart, or just go to Walmart and buy them.
I'm going to be honest. There's going to be a lot of Amazon furniture.
Yeah, and I mean, that's okay. We don't mind Amazon furniture. Well, 2 chairs that I want to get for our podcast room will probably come from Walmart because we do sell them. I know we do. There's quite a few things, and then her husband, my son, is going to help us with getting set up as far as the aspect of when we go live. Yeah, computer editing, going live, being able to share a screen when we're talking about cases, of showing appropriate pictures that we're allowed to show. Maybe not do the audio as much because we do get copyrighted for that, but maybe just the photos and whatnot, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And then when we do our Q&As, maybe we'll find something like funny to watch and comment on and whatever. But more to come near future in the next few months. So please stay with us and hang out.
Watch a whole bunch of stuff is happening.
Yep, there's a lot going on, folks. We'll see ya. Bye. Bye.
Oh, look at the finger in the camera. Woo.